7.7% or 792 million people, have a mental health problem around the world. Mental illnesses are one of the top 10 causes of illness in the world, making them a major public health issue. This mental health issue is more important than ever right now. What do other people think about it? For example, 58% of people who answered an Ipsos poll done in 33 countries in late 2023 said they often think about their mental health. 59% more people said they were too stressed to deal with or solve problems. Younger people are more likely than older people to think about their mental health. 3/6 of Generation Z say they've been sad for weeks, and more than 4 in 10 have been stressed out more than once. 34% of people in 31 countries say they have been in situations where stress has made their daily lives harder, and 31% have had more than one time when stress made it impossible for them to handle things. People's mental health is becoming more and more important because of the rising awareness for it. Mental illness can severely disrupt the lives of those affected. The recurring nature of this issue can be attributed to the constant changes in the world and the ongoing discovery of new illnesses by scientists, but that doesn't change the fact that mental health has always been important. In simple terms, mental disease and mental health used to be seen as two separate things. Let's look at mental health more closely. Mental health is more than just being physically fit. Mental, psychological, and social health are all parts of it. They all have an impact on how people think, feel, and act. According to the World Health Organization, it is a state of well-being in which a person realizes his or her abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, works productively, and contributes to the community. It changes how people handle stress, talk to other people, and choose what to do. Mental health includes things like subjective well-being, perceived self-efficacy, liberty, competence, intergenerational dependence, and being able to use all of your mental and emotional abilities to their fullest. Positive psychology and views that include everyone say that mental health means having fun with life and finding a balance between what you do and how strong your mind is. Different professional ideas, personal beliefs, and cultural differences allow for a multitude of ways to describe mental health. Late nights, low energy, changes in what you eat, suicidal ideas, isolating yourself, which isn't always a bad thing, and falling asleep a lot are all early signs of mental health issues. Knowing and dealing with these issues can help you maintain your mental health and well-being. To stay healthy in general, it's important to know that mental health is just as important as physical health. Mental health, according to Canada's Public Health Agency, means being able to feel, think, and act in ways that improve your life while still following personal, social, and community rules. These skills can get worse over time, which can cause mental illnesses or diseases. In 2019, about 970 million people around the world had a mental illness. Most of the people felt anxious and sad. Mental diseases change the way people think, feel, and act, which can be awful and make things hard to do. To find and handle mental illnesses, people in the US use the DSM-5, while individuals all over the world use the ICD-11. Eating habits, exercise, stress, drug use, and relationships with other people can all have an impact on mental health. As well as family doctors and therapists, people with mental illness can get help from counselors, social workers, nurse practitioners, and psychiatrists. To improve health and quality of life in general, mental health needs to be seen and dealt with. In the middle of the 1800s, William Sweetser coined the phrase mental hygiene. It was the first step towards supporting mental health today. A man named Isaac Ray, who helped to create the American Psychiatric Association, said that keeping the mind clean means keeping it safe. Previously, religious individuals tended to shun and harm those who were mentally ill. That is, until Dorothea Dix started the mental hygiene movement in the 1800s. This movement worked to make things better and helped build more than 30 state mental hospitals. People said these groups violated people's rights because they often didn't have enough money or other resources. Someone named Emil Kraepelin made a taxonomy of mental diseases in 1896. It changed the field a lot, but some people said it was too culturally specific. In the early 1900s, Clifford Beers opened Mental Health America, which was the first private mental health center in the United States. The program had good intentions, but it was sometimes linked to abortion and eugenics. People were taken out of state mental hospitals in the 1960s because of the Community Mental Health Centers Act. This law pushed for care in the community instead of in government hospitals. They were happy and had a better quality of life after this change, but it was criticized for making living conditions worse and not giving enough medical care. The Penrose hypothesis says that when people were released from mental hospitals, they were trans-institutionalized, which means they went to jail. However, some people don't agree with this. Things are different now, and it's clear that we need better community and long-term care tools. People who care about mental health are still asking for better services and facilities. If someone in Bangladesh has a mental health problem, they often go to a traditional doctor. This is proof that more people need to understand mental health issues and get help when they need it. More Americans suffer from mental illness than those with cancer, diabetes, or heart disease, accounting for more than 22% of those over the age of 18. Around the world, more than 970 million people have a mental illness. Major depression ranks third in the world as the leading cause of illness. By 2030, it's likely to be the main cause of illness in the whole world. More than 700,000 people themselves every year, and 14 million more try to do the same. The World Health Organization found that mental disease cost the world nearly $2.5 trillion in 2010. By 2030, this amount is likely to have grown to more than $6 trillion. Having good mental health can make your life better. Having bad mental health can make your life worse. Taking care of your health and dealing with stress are good habits that are linked to emotional skills. People who can't show their feelings are more likely to act badly. Shame from other people can make things worse for people with mental illness, whether they are children or adults. There are 3 parts to mental health, according to the tripartite model: psychological well-being, social well-being, and emotional well-being. At least 17.5% of people, 18 and older, in the United States had a mental illness in 2021. It was found that 53% of those who answered had a mental illness and were homeless. Case management is a good way to help homeless people get better because it is linked to other services. Refugees and immigrants also go through traumatic events like being discriminated against, having uncertain income, and being alone, all of which can cause mental distress. Getting families back together can be one of the most important things that can be done to help refugees. People from different backgrounds, workplaces, cultures, and jobs have different ideas about what mental health is and what causes it. When it comes to mental health care for the deaf, if you want to work with clients who are culturally deaf, you need to know how to use trained interpreters correctly and understand other cultures. When someone has a mental illness, they may feel ashamed and refuse to be named. They may also deny being diagnosed. The shame that surrounds mental illness needs to be dealt with and taken away for the sake of education and understanding. People in the U.S. who have mental illnesses and health problems are often shamed and treated badly. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, works to change this. More and more people working in mental health understand how important it is to understand different religions and spiritualities. They also receive training in different cultures to learn more about how to best help different groups of people. Religion should be taken into account, says the American Psychological Association in its statement. Occupational therapists assist individuals or groups in performing daily tasks that are significant to them in a more effective and efficient manner. Their level of mental health success varies, but they help people with mental health problems at all times of life. It is also known as mental social work. The goals of this kind of social work are to improve people's lives, bring about self-actualization, and help people adapt to new situations in all systems. Most mental health programs in the U.S. are run by social workers, and 60% of those who work in mental health have been trained professionally. Issues with mental health can be caused by biology, genes, life events, and family background. Neurotransmitter changes are an example of a biological factor. Gender, age, and race are some of the demographics that can make mental diseases more likely to happen or get worse. Not having a job can be bad for your mental health, especially if you are depressed. Most disabled people in the world have emotional issues. The World Mental Health Survey Project's goal is to improve mental health care services by changing how they are set up. All over the world, care for emotional mental health is needed, but many don't have the knowledge, tools, or money to offer it. The World Health Organization polled people in 17 countries to find out how often, what kinds, and how well mental health services were being used. More people don't get the help they need in poor countries, where people usually pay for their own care. Stress, poverty, and environmental factors can also contribute to mental health issues. People who don't have much money often do worse in school because of pressure from others, and kids who grow up in certain places think more slowly. Promoting and preventing mental illness are the same thing. They both aim to improve mental health by focusing on things that keep people from having problems in the first place. Promoting someone is meant to make them feel better about their own self-worth, health, and social standing. Protecting someone is meant to lower their risk factors. Giving young people mental health assistance before they get it is the best thing that can be done for public health. People can learn about mental health through marketing initiatives funded by the Mental Health Services Act. People are also using social media to protect themselves. This process helps people with mental health problems and their families get around the mental health system. It informs them about the best treatments and connects them with experts in certain types of mental healing. There are medicines that can help with mental illness, and working out can be good for your emotional and physical health. People get better with activity therapies that encourage them to participate in things like sports or self-care. Expressive treatments use art forms like writing, music, theater, and dance. Psychotherapy is a scientifically sound way to treat mental health problems that came about because of modern medicine. Getting spiritual help, learning how to be kind to yourself, lucid dreaming, meditation, and learning social and emotional skills are all types of treatment that can help improve mental health. The goal of these treatments is to help people deal with feelings that are getting worse and improve their ability to deal with the everyday problems they face. However, you should not substitute these tools for genuine care. The things that surround you, the way your body works, and your access to mental health care can all have an impact on your mental health. Being afraid of emotional and mental diseases is very important because they affect so many people every year in the United States. 80% of people with mental problems do get help in the end, but it takes a long time and only about a third get care that is at least somewhat good. In the United States, mental health policies have changed 4 times since the 1970s. These are the American Hospital Movement, the Mental Hygiene Movement, the Deinstitutionalization Movement, and the Community Support Movement. The American Asylum Movement worked to protect mentally ill people from being mistreated and living in bad conditions. Conversely, the mental health movement aimed to prevent children from developing mental illnesses. In 1961, Action for Mental Health initiated the Deinstitutionalization Movement. Their goal was to provide neighborhood clinic care to help people who already had mental illness and to keep them from getting it in the first place. However, issues arose due to inflation and insufficient funding for community-based projects. The National Prevention Strategy for 2011 is mostly about having good mental and emotional health. It says parents should do a better job and programs for early assistance should be used. To help people with mental health issues, the Helping Families in Mental Health Crisis Act was passed twice, first in 2013 and then again in 2015. Finally, what are your thoughts on this topic? Do you believe mental health is so important? Do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments. See you in next video.